So why do I need to learn algebra to play Tekken? Well, you don't. It's not an algebraic equation to input a combo. It's very, very simple, but there are confusing notations involved because Tekken has a very unique notation system. So I'm here to explain that to you real quick. Whenever you see something like a 1, 2, 1 plus 2 input type of deal online, say in the Discord or on YouTube comments or in Facebook comments, whatever it may be, somewhere on the internet, you're going to see notations like this, like F1 or FF2 or things like that. It's going to be confusing to you right off the bat because you're a new player. What the fuck do these numbers mean? What the hell is 1? What's 2? Etc. and so forth. Here you go. Real quick explanation. The input I have for left punch on PlayStation is square. So this is a 1. So whenever you see somebody putting in a notation that says 1, that's what they're meaning by that. Whatever the left punch button happens to be for you. Maybe you changed square to something else or left punch to something else in the controller setup. I don't know. But it doesn't matter because whatever you've changed your notations to, it will always be able to translate back to the classic notations. 1, 2, 3, 4. The ones that we've been using for decades now. The reason we have this system implemented is because of people changing their controls around. Square isn't punch for everybody. Some people don't even use PlayStation controllers. Even PC players like to use arcade sticks. I love to use my pad, but I have a stick. There's also Xbox players that have completely different buttons for their controller as well, so you have to factor in those people. So that's why we stick to the universal input commands that we all know and love. 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now you understand that 1, 2, 3, and 4 will always correlate to the face buttons of your controller, whatever those face buttons may be, or whatever the left punch, left kick, right kick notations are for you specifically, whatever you've set those to, 1, 2, and 3, and 4 will always correlate with that. But what does the plus sign mean? Sometimes you'll see somebody who's writing out a notation that says 1 plus 2, or 3 plus 4, or 1 plus 4, or 2 plus 3, or something like that. The plus sign indicates two buttons being pressed simultaneously. So, for example, 1 plus 2 is square plus triangle together. Right on. So I'm a pasty white-ass bitch, and I know it, but here you go. Here's the notations for you in real time. This is what they look like. 1, left punch, square. I've already explained this part. The plus means buttons must be pressed simultaneously. Example given. I've already given an example. 1 plus 2 would be both left and right punch. Buttons pressed together or at the same time. Great, so we've established that the plus sign, when you see it written down, it means one button plus another button at the same time. Cool. Now, what about the directional inputs? When I see F on the screen, or U, or C, or K, those notations correlate to the directional inputs. So F would mean forward, B would mean back, or block. Guess what? This is the block button. Hold the back button. Whatever direction your character is facing, hold back. Backwards. Obviously, if I'm on the right side, backwards is right. But if I'm on the left side, then backwards is left. So if you're on player 1 side, hold left, which is back, B, and you will always block. Good way to remember back being B is the fact that it's the same letter that starts both words. Holy shit, what a concept. So D would then therefore be, not dick, down. Correct. Also meaning crouch. If you hold down or you press down, you're going to crouch, right? So D always means down. When you see U, it means up. You're going to be pressing the up button, whatever that may be. Tapping the up button will let you sidestep into the background, and tapping the down button will let you sidestep into the foreground. But we will talk about sidesteps in another video. I'm going to go over something in WordPad real quick now. Directional notations you're going to need to know. F equals forward, B equals back. I already explained this as well. So now what happens when you see something like this? DF. What the fuck is a DF? It means down and forward pressed at the same time. DF is down forward. When somebody says down forward, it doesn't mean they mean press down then press forward. I know a lot of people get that confused if they've played Mortal Kombat or something, because oftentimes notations in Mortal Kombat will be down forward square to release a fireball or something like that, right? That's not the case in Tekken. Down forward in Tekken is down forward at the same time. Press simultaneously. Down back is the same thing as that, but for those corresponding buttons, up forward is UF, up back is UB. You won't need to necessarily know those very often because fewer moves have up forward and up back notations, but if you play Dragonov or something, then you may need to know these notations. N is very important to know. N is not very commonly used unless you're doing like crouch dash notations, which I will explain a little bit later. But N is neutral or nothing, where you're not pressing any buttons for 1 frame of time or a 60th of a second. You'll likely not notice the neutral being inputted when you go to execute the move, and that's totally fine. It's as if when you're doing a crouch dash, you're going to be inputting the notations that you would do for a classic Shoryuken, the rising uppercut thing in Street Fighter. If you played Street Fighter, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. That notation is the same thing for a crouch dash. And in crouch dashes, or in that type of notation in Tekken, neutral will be one of the inputs required for 1 frame of the attack. I'll explain what frames are in a later video in this little mini-series. What the hell does WS mean? What about WR, CD? Well, I already said that CD means crouch dash input, but, we can talk about that in a second. WS is very important to know, because WS corresponds with while standing up from a crouching position. So, while standing is WS. Let's demonstrate that real quick. While standing is a very important notation to know. Every character has a while standing position, because all it is coming up from a crouch. You're letting go of down after you've just blocked an attack or something, and you're coming up from the crouch position. So, say Devil Jin just hit me with a low, I'm going to crouch block that, and then I'm going to do a while standing 4-4. Which means I'm pressing 4-4, not while I'm crouching, right? And not while I'm standing. Already standing, this is what I get. While I'm crouching, this is what I get. I am doing it while I'm in the while standing position. So, this is what I get when I've let go of crouch, but I haven't retained standing status yet. I'm still technically in the in-between phase, not crouching but also not standing up quite yet. Learn what moves your character has from while standing, because that is important information that will save your life. So, while running, WR, means basically while running towards your opponent or after hitting the forward button 3 times. Forward, 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 as you see there on screen. FFF. So what does a while running status look like? Well, it's very simple. It's just Kazuya running towards the opponent. So an example here with Kazuya is forward, forward, forward 3, the slash kick. Great move. 30 damage, just on its own. Just 1 hit. It's insanely plus on block, which we'll talk about in a later video what that means. And, you do need to understand what while running moves can do for you, and how powerful they can be if your execution is on point. But there you go, that's the gist of it. Whenever you see WR, it means while running, so forward, 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 and then the input required. Simple as that. We talked a bit ago about crouch dashes and what that means. So whenever you see an input say CD on the screen, CD1 for Kazuya, for example, is going to be this move, which is his Thunder God Fist. No one ever uses that. It's very rarely even used in combos. I don't recommend using it in the open, but crouch dash moves are character specific. Not very many characters have crouch dash moves. Kazuya being one of them, though. He's got obvious moves like Hell Sweep. Crouch dashing is done by pressing forward, neutral, down, down, forward. And then the move. So, this is what a crouch dash will look like if you've done the notation properly. And then you can do multiple in a row to get a wave dash, but that comes with very much time and a lot of practice. And doesn't require being learned at all if you're not a Mishima player, specifically if you're not a Kazuya player. So, not even really Devil Jin requires crouch dashes or wave dashes anymore because he's got Morning Crow stance. So, really the only character you need to wave dash with is Kazuya, and then Reina for style points if you want. But crouch dash moves are still important to know. It's just your classic Shoryuken inputs. That's all it really is. Nothing more to it. Forward, neutral, down, down, forward. You won't even really notice the neutral, but if you're not getting it, if your thumb on the D-pad or your wrist on the joystick seems to be just inputting the down. Whenever you do like you try to get like a Win Godfist with Kazuya, if you're getting this, or if you're getting this, not that. If you're getting that, you're doing it right. But if you're getting this, then you're not inputting the down forward correctly. If you're getting this, then you're not inputting the down correctly. It needs to be very precise, very consistent. But oftentimes, you might also just be skipping the neutral input. So maybe just take your thumb off of the forward button for a split second, and then hit down, down, forward triangle. And then there you go. You'll have the Win Godfist. If you do it perfectly, frame perfect, then you get an electric. There you go. Hope that helps. What about these other inputs, though? QCF, QCB, HCF, HCB. Far less common inputs that you'll see for most characters will be HCF and HCB. Very few moves in the game have those. Again, if you're a King player, you have a throw that has that with Giant Swing. Devil Jin and I think Raven also have throws that require HCF commands. HCB I don't think is even in Tekken anymore. I might be mistaken about that, but essentially QCF is where most people will recognize the notation down, down, forward, forward. It's just a slide position from the down button here to the forward button in a quarter circle motion. You're not going to take your thumb off of the directional buttons before you input the face button, whatever the command may be. So your typical classic Hadouken notation. That's very simple to know. Quarter circle back, you start from the down position and you slide to back. Half circle forward, start from the backwards position and then slide to forward. Half circle back, start from the forward position, slide to back. GU is almost never inputted. Nobody ever writes this down, but it is an input that you can learn if you want, getting up from a grounded position. That's all that means. It means you're laying on the ground and the move that you're going to do is done when you get up. So say you're on the ground, 3. You press 3 to get up, you do the toe kick, or the kick that used to launch, the low kick. That's get up 3. Not a good move to use anymore. Don't bother doing get up kicks. They're all garbage. All of them can kill you from your opponent sidestepping you to their right, or just having them be parried or blocked. It's just not necessary to use those moves anymore, and they're all but useless. The last notations we're going to talk about here are tailspin and bound. Tailspin is only going to be notated in a combo when your opponent is talking about a move that has just tailspun the opponent, and I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So what the hell is tailspin and what the hell is bound? Well, tailspin is this. Let's just do a one move tailspin. Not all characters have one-hit tailspin moves, but there you go. Forward 2 for Kazuya is a tailspin. What that means is it's a combo extender. So if you're trying to learn combos, then just all you need to do is 3 easy steps. Launcher, tailspin, ender. Done. So I'm going to do that, into that, into that. There's my little mini Kazuya combo. That's done. What if I want to include a bound in there, though? So I'm going to do that, into that, and I'm going to bound from there in heat burst, and then I'm going to finish the combo. So there we go. Now, I got a bound in there as well. This is important information to know for when you start doing combos, but it's not necessary to know just yet. So that's why I included it at the very end of this list, because we are going to be moving into combos in a very near future video. But for now, I don't really want to go over that stuff. This is specifically about what the notations mean when you go to read them in online forums or Discords, like I said. So, just keep it simple for now. But I digress. If you're online and you want help with these notations and all this stuff, please just talk to the community, and I hope that this video helps you out in understanding what the notations mean a little bit easier so you can better write out what a combo is or what a move is that you may be having difficulty dealing with. And hopefully we'll be able to help you out in Discords and YouTube videos, etc. and so forth. So, hope this helped. You guys stay safe, stay awesome, keep rocking out and keep gaming, and I will see you in the next video, whatever the hell that's going to be.